Hey, Life Group leaders, I hope you're well today. The purpose of this video that I'm recording the week of Christmas is just to share with you two things that will help you prepare for 2023. And so I want to be as brief as possible. I know that a lot of you are probably getting ready for Christmas and probably running around, and so I don't want to take too much of your time. But here's basically what I'd like to share with you in this brief video. I want to share with you two things. One, I want to share with you a resource that I'll be providing for you and your groups that I hope helps you guys center around a common vision as a group. You'll remember that if you've been to our trainings as life groups, we think that each life group should aim at three things. They should aim at gospel-centeredness, community, and mission. And so I'm going to be providing for you a tool that's going to help you talk about that with your group. And so I'll talk more about that in a moment. But then secondly, another thing I want to share in this video is a church-wide emphasis that we're going to be sharing beginning in 2023 that will impact your groups, I think, in a positive way, but it also will challenge our whole church body to strive towards some specific things. So I want to give you a little bit of a heads up on that as well. So first, let me share with you this tool that I'd like to provide for you. I've been emailing you about this, but it's easier to explain in a conversational way. So I'm just going to very briefly tell you a little bit more about this 2023 vision guide that will be attached in the email that I'm sending to you. And in this vision guide, again, it's a 4-week, basically curriculum that will help your group evaluate its own health and also center around those three things that we want every life group to focus on: gospel, community, and mission. Now, before you maybe get nervous because you already have a curriculum plan and this might feel like it's overwhelming or just something to do on top of what you're already doing, this vision guide is, we've tried to create it so that it's flexible enough to where you could either use this as your curriculum for 4 weeks to take up your entire group time, or you could just carve out 15 to 20 minutes at the end of your group where after you're done with your normal lesson, you could actually take a section of each week and do a discussion with your group so that everybody can kind of get a common understanding of gospel, community, and mission. So I'm sending this 2023 vision guide to you, and I'd love for each group, beginning the week of January 29th, to actually do this for 4 weeks to help set the tone for your year as a group. On January 29th, it's a Sunday evening, we're having a life group leader training where I'm going to explain this in more detail. So there's much that I'm leaving out, but I just want you to know that this is completed and it's ready to send to you. I meant to send it to you last week, but my family was down and was sick, and so we're on the mend now, but that is in this email, and I wanted you to hear from the horse's mouth a little bit more about that. Secondly, another thing I want you to know about that you can think through as you hopefully slow down, maybe after Christmas, and have some time to think and pray and reflect. But next year, as a church body, I'm not going to share too much because I want you guys to hear this more from Dr. Courts at the beginning of the year, but I want to still give you a little bit of a heads up. But next year, we're going to be focusing on the common goal of, as a church, of being, how do we be bright lights in dark places? So that's a phrase you'll probably hear a lot over the course of 2023. And basically what that means is we want to up the ante on the way that we serve within the church body and the way that we serve our community and the way that we share the gospel with those who are close to us but far from God. So we want to encourage the church body to be bright lights in dark places. And so what that means is we would like for life groups to be really intentional about having a local partner that you serve. We are also going to organize and host some church-wide serving events in some specific places in our community that we're excited to share with you about. Those are some things we want your life groups to participate in. And many of your life groups do a great job serving local partners. You already have a partner. Some of you maybe don't have a strong partner in the community that you can serve. And we actually want to help you with that. We want to resource you with some options and opportunities and make this easy for you. And so bright lights, dark places, that's really what we're going to be aiming at next year. And what that looks like is we want to serve our community, we want to serve our neighbors, and we want to share the gospel with them. And we want to actually have some practical steps in place to help your groups do that and to help the individuals in our church do that. And the last thing that is something that I'm very excited about is we want to undergird and support these efforts with more intentional prayer. And so starting the second week in February and every 8 weeks after that, we plan to host a prayer night on Wednesday evenings that we want to ask life groups to attend, if at all possible. We just want to be more intentional about praying for God to move in our midst, and we want to learn to pray together more. And we just know from church history and from history in general that God moves when his people pray. So we're trying to make that more intentional as well. And so that's the quick update that I wanted to share with you, because I know you might have questions. I'm glad to take your phone calls or respond to your emails if you have specific questions after you watch this video. Just want you to know that I'm sending you this vision guide. I'd like for you to do this with your group for 4 weeks, starting January 29th. And I'll explain how you can do this either to take up your whole class time, or if it's something that you could just tag on at the end of your already planned curriculum. I'll explain that at our training on January 29th. And then secondly, we talked about how the church is going to emphasize being bright lights in dark places and what that looks like and how that impacts our groups. And we're going to encourage your groups to serve, find a local partner, and also participate in the projects that we will be organizing on a church-wide level. Thank you so much for all you do. I do hope that you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope this isn't overwhelming. I'm here to support you and resource you, and you're never going to bother me if you reach out with questions. So please do, if you need anything at all.